Global War 36 enthusiast here with Operation 20 Core, turn 14.5, Commonwealth. It is January 1943. The Commonwealth has 2 tech rolls. First, I tried for advanced artillery at a 7 or higher. PB generated a 12, so I succeeded. I advanced to stage 2. Second, I tried for amphibious doctrine at a 7 or higher. PB generated a 10, so I succeeded, advanced to stage 2. Okay, next up is purchases. Let's see if I can get this mounted correctly. Yep, I think that's working. And I don't have it centered on my purchases. Sorry about that. Let's get this over here. Sorry, I have a new setup, and there we go. All right. Great Britain has 33 IPP to spend. I will upgrade 2 militia to an infantry for 2, 1 infantry for 3, that's 5, 1 marine for 4, that's 9, 1 anti-aircraft artillery for 4, that's 13, 2 fighters for 20, that's 33. FEC has 15 IPP to spend, 3 militia for 6, 1 anti-aircraft artillery for 4, that's 10, and I'll begin construction of a fortification in British Malaya for 5, that's 15. ANZAC has 4 IPP to spend. I will purchase 1 militia and save 2 IPP. Reviewing where we're at with the Middle East, the USSR has lost 21 IPP in units, but they've gained 16 IPP in income, so they're at a net of -5. The Commonwealth has lost 6 IPP in units and another 14 in bonus income, but they gained 8 IPP in income, so that's a net of -12, -5 to -12. Combat movement. All right. So the first combat move is kind of an odd one here. Down in Puerto Rico, that says non-combat, but it's actually going to be combat movement. This seaplane is going to fly 1 to C-Zone A41, 2 to A37, 3 to A30, 4 to A25, and it'll have a range of, that's 4, so it'll have a range of 3. It's going to land in the Caroline Islands. It is not on map. So the only reason that it's flying there is because this ANZAC destroyer in C-Zone A18 is going to come off escort duty, move into A25, and at this moment, those 2 submarines could attack the ANZAC destroyer. If Panzer J, I didn't reach out to you, Panzer J, but if you elect to do it, we can PBE it, but the seaplane would get to shoot at you in that case, because you're engaging me if you decide to do that. I don't know if you'll do it or not, but if you do, then we'll PBE it. If you don't, then that ANZAC destroyer will go on escort duty there in A25. And I might as well, while I'm over here and got the camera teed up, just show the seaplane landing there in the Caroline Islands, assuming nothing happens. Or even if something does happen, it'll still land there. Okay. Next is over in M4. One of these submarines is going to move 1 space over to M2, then to A44, and number 3 will be up here into C-Zone A35 with the Italian torpedo boat destroyer. From Gibraltar, this medium bomber will fly out 1-2 to A35. So those 2 units are attacking the Italian torpedo boat destroyer in A35. Next is from Gibraltar. 1 naval transport will leave port to C-Zone M2, carrying 1 Marine. It will move 1 space over to M4, 2 spaces over to M8, and it'll grab an infantry from Western Egypt. Then it'll make its 3rd move back to M4 and drop off the infantry and the Marine in Malta. From Lower Egypt, oh God, why does it say? Oh, what is going on? It says there's a timer. Sorry, there's some sort of weird. I'm still recording, so hopefully this has all made sense. There's from Lower Egypt, one fighter will fly to Malta. So 1, 2, 3. It's going to land on a light carrier here in C zone M4. From C zone I4, one light carrier will move 1 space to I5, 2 to M8, and 3 to M4. That's the landing site for the fighter to land on. So it'll be those 2 infantry class units and a fighter against the militia on Malta. Malta's just normal terrain. Next, we have from Italian Somaliland, 1 infantry will just walk into Abyssinia. It's not worth anything. From Italian Somaliland, 1 infantry will walk into British Somaliland. Again, not worth anything. From Tanganyika, 1 infantry will walk into Portuguese East Africa. And from Cape Town, 1 medium armor. This medium armor just off screen here. From Cape Town will go 1, 2 into Portuguese East Africa. And that's normal terrain. Okay, over here to Bengal. From Bengal, 1 Gurkha is going to walk into Burma. That's mountainous jungle. And then from Maharashtra, 2 fighters will fly 1, 2, 3 to Burma, 1, 2, 3, and they will land in British Malaya, 4, 5. So that will be that battle, those 3 units. A lot of little battles here this turn. Next is from South Australia, 1 motorized infantry will move 1, 2, into Queensland. And from New South Wales, 2 militia, 3 infantry will go into Queensland. That's normal terrain as well. And I believe that is all my combat movement. So let's do some combat. All right, let's get this teed up a little bit better. Yeah, that looks about right. Okay, so we have the submarine. Submarine has a first strike versus that torpedo boat destroyer. Almost got the first strike, and 1 at 7 with the medium bomber. Miss, and 1 at 2. That would be devastating if he hit. I'd have to probably retreat. Oh, thank goodness he missed. It just rolled over. 1 at 3, and 1 at 7. And 1 at 2. That's a hit. Nope. Okay, so I do kill the Italian torpedo boat destroyer in A35, and the medium bomber flies back to Gibraltar. All right, next is Malta. Oh, I didn't say it, but I did have it written down. Hold on. Let me pull this out. Yeah, okay, let's see. From Gibraltar, 1 heavy cruiser moves to Sea Zone M4. It provides shore bombardment. So I skipped that one, but I am bringing this heavy cruiser out of Malta over to out of Gibraltar over to Malta to bombard. So I do get 1 shot at 2 with that heavy cruiser. All right, so 1 shot at 2, almost, and then 2 at 2 with the Marine and the infantry. Darn and one at 6. Come on, baby. Nope. Okay, he's got one at 2. This would be a Marine if he hits. Missed by 1. 2 at 2. Miss, 1 at 6. Hit, 1 at 2. Hit. Okay, well, I was due. So at least I lose the infantry. So I take Malta with a Marine. It's not worth anything. All right. Oh, why is it? Hopefully it's still recorded. It seems like every 5 minutes it wants to turn off. I have to figure out what's going on with this new camera. All right, that was Malta. What else do we have? Let's see, we did Malta. Portuguese East Africa. So I've got 1 infantry at 2, 1 medium armor at 6 versus an militia at 2. So 1 militia at 2, or 1 infantry at 2, 1 medium armor at 6, miss, and 1 militia at 2, miss. 1 infantry at 2, 1 medium armor at 6, hit, and 1 militia at 2. Even though it's slightly cocked, all the faces that are showing are white, so it would have been a miss no matter what it landed on. So Italian Somaliland, now that is worth 1. So that drops the Italians down. The Italians go to 10. Great Britain goes to 29. No, 30. Great Britain's at 30. All right, sorry about that. Now we've got Burma. 1 Gurkha at 3. Hit. And then 1 militia? Or what does he have? No, 1 motorized at 2. The motorized is -2 because of the jungle. Okay. So I did take that. So there were a bunch of 2s, probably 6 rolls at 2, and he got 1 hit. So Burma is FEC territory. Those 2 fighters land in British Malaya. So FEC is going to go up and Japan's going to go down. FEC goes up to 13. Japan drops down to 47. All right. Now we've got, Queensland. Queensland, again, is normal terrain. I have 2 militia that are at 1. Miss. And then I've got 4 at 2. 3 of them are infantry, 1 of them's a motorized infantry. Nope. And he's got 1 at 2 militia. Miss. 2 at 1. Miss. 4 at 2. 2 hits. And he has a return. Miss. All right. So I take Queensland back for Anzac with 2 militia, 3 infantry, and a motorized infantry. And that's worth 1. So Anzac goes to 5. Japan drops to 46. All right. I think that's the end of my combat with the British. So it's now it's on to non-combat movement. So the medium bomber landed in Gibraltar, and the 2 fighters landed in British Malaya. And of course that seaplane I already showed you landing in Caroline Islands. Or the Carolinas, sorry, Caroline Island, the Carolinas. Non-combat. From London, 1 infantry and 2 Marines moved to southern England. That's 1 infantry and 2 Marines moved to southern England. These guys are in southern England. And then from southern England, 1 naval transport leaves port carrying 1 Marine and 1 medium armor. And it is going to go down to sea zone A44 and drop those 2 units off in Gibraltar. And then the naval transport is going to go in port in Gibraltar. And meanwhile, the naval transport that started in Gibraltar is going to leave port and go up to A21 and go in port in southern England. Okay. Let's see. From Gibraltar, one destroyer is going to leave port right here and go over to Sea Zone M4 and then go in port with the heavy cruiser and the naval transport. Those 3 units are going to go in port in Malta. That fighter landed on the light carrier there in M4. All right, lost my clipboard. Let's see what else is on my to-do. Lower Egypt. From Lower Egypt, one torpedo boat destroyer is going to leave port and go down and join the fleet in I-4. From Western Egypt, 2 infantry are going to move to Lower Egypt. From Lower Egypt, 2 infantry are going to move to Transjordan. Essentially, I'm an amoeba, those 2 dudes there. From Sea Zone I-5, the Anzac Naval Transport will pick up 2 infantry from Lower Egypt and move them to Sea Zone I-6 and drop them off in southern Iran and go in port in Kuwait. From southern Iraq, 2 infantry will move into southern Iran. So that'll get me 4. From Maharashtra, 2 FEC infantry will move to southern Iran. That'll give me 4 of those too. From Lower Egypt, 1 anti-aircraft artillery will strategic rail move to southern Iran. In version 4.2, I couldn't do this, but now you can jump from rail to river, and so in version 4.2, I can make it to southern Iran. Okay, let me see if I'm missing anything there. I don't think so. From Calcutta, 1 Marine will move to southern India. Down here in New South Wales, 3 militia will move to Sydney, and 2 infantry will move to South Australia. Is there anything that I didn't get? Let's see. No, I think that's everything as far as movement goes. Okay, placement of units. So Anzac gets 1 militia. It will be placed in North Island of New Zealand. Let me put that on camera there. They collect 5, so they saved 2, so they'll have 7 for next turn. FEC has 3 infantry. 2 of those infantry are going to go in British Malaya. And I'm going to start the fortification in British Malaya. And I'm going to build my anti-aircraft artillery in British Malaya. It gets me up to 3 anti-aircraft in British Malaya. All right. And then I've got my last militia will be in southern Iran. Okay, so FEC collects 13 plus 2 bonus income, 15. So I have 15 for next turn. Great Britain. All right, I'm going to build the Marine here in Italian Somaliland. I've got a militia upgrade that I'm going to do in Sierra Leone. I think I might as well move this guy up one. I didn't move my air transport. I want to move this. Let's see. I'll go 1, 2, pick up the air transport, 3, or pick up the airborne. 3, 4 to Chad, 5 to Sudan, 6, I only have 7. 5 to Sudan, 6 to Western Egypt, 7 to, oops, sorry, I'm not showing that on camera. This is 5, 6 to Western Egypt, 7 to Lower Egypt. I guess I'll also move this guy from Belgian Congo to Tanganyika. All right. Oh, no, never mind. This guy's the guy I'm building in England. Okay, then I've got 1 infantry and 1 anti-aircraft and 2 planes. All of those will go in London. 1 infantry, another anti-aircraft artillery, and 2 aircraft, 2 fighters. All right. And then collect income. I am at 30 plus 3 bonus income, 33 for next turn. All right, Free France's turn. Free France has 10 IPP to spend. I will purchase 2 Foreign Legion and save 2. Combat. I just have 1 combat movement. From Belgian Congo, I'm going to send everything in. 3 infantry, 2 Foreign Legion, and 2 anti-aircraft artillery, and the medium bomber will fly down from Lower Egypt, 1, 2, 3, and then fly back, 1, 2, 3. So it'll land there in Lower Egypt. That's my only attack. Okay, let's tee that up. It's got a river. There's a river there. So I have 3 infantry at 1 and 2 Foreign Legion also at 1. So I've got 5 at 1. And I did get a hit. He's got 1 militia at 2. Nope. Okay, so Sudan's not worth anything. So that's captured by those 7 units. Medium bomber goes back and lands. Okay, let's do up here that we're doing non-combat. 1 fighter will fly from southern England down to Gibraltar. Okay, and then from northern Iraq, 1 Foreign Legion will rail to southern Iran. From Cameroon, 1 Foreign Legion will move to Chad. Whoops, that's not on camera, is it? Here we go. From Cameroon, 1 Foreign Legion moves to Chad. I think that's everything. Then I'm going to place 2 Foreign Legion in Chad. And I collect 7, plus I saved 2, so I'll have 9 for next turn. Disposition. All right, in Sea Zone A25, Anzac destroyer on escort duty in the Carolinas, 1 seaplane. In northern England, a militia. In southern England, 3 militia, 1 infantry, 1 airborne infantry, 2 marines, 1 anti-aircraft artillery, 2 fighters, and a seaplane. In port in southern England, 1 battleship, 1 coastal defense ship, 1 destroyer, 2 naval transports. In Sea Zone A21, 1 torpedo boat destroyer on escort duty. In London, 3 militia, 2 infantry, 2 anti-aircraft artillery, 2 fighters. In Gibraltar, 1 militia, 3 marines, 3 medium armor, 1 French fighter, 1 British medium bomber, 1 American heavy strategic bomber. In port, there's a British naval transport, an American battleship, and an American naval transport. In Sea Zone A35, 1 submarine. In Malta, 1 marine, 1 heavy cruiser, 1 destroyer, 1 naval transport. Those 3 are in port. And then in Sea Zone M4, a light carrier with a fighter, a submarine, and a coastal submarine. In Western Egypt, 3 infantry. In Lower Egypt, 1 infantry, 1 militia, 4 infantry, 1 airborne infantry, 2 anti-aircraft artillery, 1 French medium bomber, 1 air transport. In Transjordan, 2 infantry. In southern Iran, 1 militia, 4 British infantry, 4 FEC infantry, 1 Free French Foreign Legion, 1 medium armor, 1 anti-aircraft artillery. In Kuwait, 1 Anzac transport in port. In Sea Zone I4, we have a light carrier, 2 battleships, a battle cruiser, an Anzac light cruiser, 2 British light cruisers, 3 British destroyers, 1 torpedo boat destroyer, and a French sub and 2 transports. In Aden, 1 French torpedo boat destroyer in port. In British Somaliland, 1 infantry. In Abyssinia, 1 infantry. In Italian Somaliland, 1 infantry, 1 marine. In Tanganyika, 1 infantry. In Sudan, 3 Free French infantry. In 2 Foreign Legion, 2 anti-aircraft artillery. In Chad, 3 Foreign Legion. In Cameroon, 1 militia. Nothing down there. In Ceylon, 1 militia. In Burma, 1 Gurkha. In southern India, 1 marine. In Calcutta, 2 militia, 6 infantry, 1 anti-aircraft artillery. In Burma, 2 militia, 1 British infantry, 1 Anzac infantry, 7 Gurkhas, 1 FEC artillery, 2 Anzac artillery, 2 British anti-aircraft artillery, 1 FEC anti-aircraft artillery, 2 fighters, and a fortification under construction. In Queensland, 2